There are two things that make AI recommend you so you're not invisible to your potential clients. One is content, and the other takes 10 minutes, and most solopreneurs don't do it. So here's how to find out where you stand with AI search right now, and then I'm going to show you both fixes. This is Perplexity. If you're not familiar with it, it's a search engine that already has AI baked in, but you can use Claude or ChatGPT for this too. So you open it up. I want you to hit the incognito button so it doesn't use its memory about you. And then I want you to ask it what it knows about you. So this is what your potential clients are seeing when they check you out using AI. And trust me, they're checking you out using AI. So what does it say about you? There's basically three outcomes here. You're either invisible, it's never heard of you. It has heard of you, but what it says about you is pretty generic. Or you have clear authority in your niche. So most solopreneurs are going to end up with one of the first two. If that's you, there are two fixes I'm going to recommend. Number one, 10-minute win. So when the AI models go out to the web, they actively scrape LinkedIn and Reddit. And so a lot of times they'll pick up on what's there first. And what I noticed in my Perplexity results specifically, see this section right here, is that a lot of these frameworks that get mentioned are coming directly from my LinkedIn newsletter and my About section on LinkedIn, not my website. But what you don't see behind the scenes is that AI is actually comparing my LinkedIn and my website and my YouTube description and podcast introductions where I've been a guest. And it sees how all those things stack up. And if they're all over the place, if they don't have anything in common, if there's no thread, it's going to be less likely to identify me as an expert or even recommend me. So here's the 10 minutes. What I want you to do is go to your LinkedIn About section and make sure that it accurately reflects what you do and what you want to be known for. So let me just show you the difference because I think a lot of people still have a LinkedIn page that sounds a lot like a resume. If I was writing my about page like a resume, I would say something like, I have 25 years of experience as a serial founder and being adult supervision at SaaS startups. And I help startups professionalize their strategies and systems, and people work with me to build AI content systems, right? That's not going to cut through the noise. Let me show you what mine looks like right now. Right? It starts out with a hook, just like social media. Most business owners I talk to aren't ignoring AI, they're drowning in it. But here's the part I want you to pay attention to. Look at this part right here where I say, I help solopreneurs use AI to do three things: build an always on marketing system, deliver better results, and hand off admin work, right? You need to say something like that about what you do for your ideal clients. And if you're not really sure how to put this together, I want you to head over to LinkedIn again and look for one of those how to build your profile infographics. They are everywhere. You're not going to have any problem. And then after you do that, the next time you have 10 minutes, what you want to do is compare what you said on LinkedIn to what your website says and what your Instagram bio says and what the bio you give your podcast host says, right? Anywhere you're online, anywhere you have a profile, you want all that to align, or you're just going to confuse the bots. So, fix number two is content. Now, this is a longer play, but it is essential if you want to show up in AI. And moving forward, that means if you want to show up at all. But it's worth it because this juice compounds over time. So, it doesn't matter if you write a blog or you can podcast or you can be on other people's podcasts, but you got to leave an internet footprint somewhere. Okay. Now, the watch out is you can't just spew out whatever you're thinking about, or you're not going to get the benefit of creating content. So I think as experts, as people who make a living sharing our expertise, we are hardwired to teach and to inform. So the reframe here is that we need to move towards content that claims territory. And the thing is, if you're writing generic content, your 10 tips, that's going to invite AI to remix it with everybody else's, and you're not going to get credit. But if you're sharing stuff that's different and that is comes from your experience or your opinions, that's what's going to get you cited. So I think we need to be asking a different question about content. Not just can I deliver content that people are searching for, right? That's what SEO was all about. But is my answer so distinctly mine that AI will pull it out instead of synthesizing it with the rest of the pack? So, in my opinion, there's a couple things that you can do to make your chances standing out better. And I call it my POV framework. And here's what it looks like. Now, first of all, you need to name your system or your method. So, this is your intellectual property or IP, and I promise you have some structure, a framework, a belief system. I want you to name it and start publishing about it. You can talk about the whole thing and you can talk about each of the pieces. And what that does is it makes sure all your content is connected, right? Everything relates to everything else. Now, the second thing is that you need to come up with a few strategic opinions that are different from what everybody else is saying. And look, if you've been doing what you're doing for 25 years, I promise you, you've got some opinions in there where you think everybody else is wrong and you are sure you're right. And that's great. And that's why people hire you. And so, what we need to do is start saying these things out loud, right? And then the third circle in the framework, that's storytelling. And again, that's important because your stories are uniquely yours, right? AI just doesn't have those. So, my real recommendation is that if you want AI to tell people about you and what you do, and you want to get recommended, you actually combine fix one and fix two, right? Do the LinkedIn thing first and check your consistency in all your bios and profiles. So, that's going to tell AI who you are. But if you want to get found by people who don't already know your name, if you want to get recommended, you need to be creating content. So if you want to stay on top of this, because it's moving fast, I recommend you schedule a quarterly audit for yourself, right? Go incognito in Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. Use the free version, that's fine. And ask three questions, right? Who is, put in your name. So I would say, who is Laura Zovelson and what do they specialize in? And then second, who are the top, put in your specialty, consultants for, put in your audience. And third, ask a specific question that someone looking for your services is likely to ask the AI. This is a little bit like the old Google's SEO, right? Try to get in their head. Like someone who's looking for me doesn't say, how do I differentiate my messaging? They say, how do I use AI to help with marketing? So, what comes back from that audit is going to be your baseline. This is going to give you an idea of what you look like when someone asks AI a question about your area. And then I want you to use Claude to help you brainstorm about how to position yourself so you can win one of these searches, one or more of these searches, right? So in this video, I talk a lot about creating content, but I didn't tell you exactly what you need to write about. If you want to know more about that, this is the video you need to watch next.